7 of Season 5 of The Paper Thing with me, the Broken Bottle Boy, here on Twitch. Yes, we have got a full paper show again. It's the Times, the Sun, the Daily Mail, and the Daily Star. We'll be speed running the Daily Star today because, you know, why not? We're starting with the Sun, then the Star, and then we will end on the Daily Mail following the Times. Yes, fantastic. Right, so I'm wearing my Trash Future Johannes Vonk and the Clogheads t-shirt today. So, grand. I've got to start doing smoother intros, haven't I, really? But anyway, yes, welcome to the show. Today, beginning with the Sun. I haven't got my papers in the right pile either. I mean, come on. Let's have a bit of production polish here. Back on the mustard today. Delicious mustard. Hey Yu-Gi-Oh! It is a harmless Christmas tradition. Best Dutch band and shoe polish brand. Exactly, use of weapons. I love it. This is a fucking great t-shirt. Right. Okay, so we're starting with the Sun. Front cover of the Sun is by Harry, Britain's top cuck, Harry Cole, writing about Boris Johnson, and they've mocked him up throwing some dice for Bojo's biggest gamble. Hey, Slinkamai, thank you for resubscribing at 7 months subscribed so far. Thank you, that's really much appreciated. Yep, so front of the page there, we've got a ridiculous mock-up of Boris Johnson as a gambler. It's starring in Casino Royale with cheese. And on the left-hand side of the page, Showbiz exclusive. Pussycat claws out for Nicole. Whoopie-doo. Right, so let's get into the paper. On page 2, back to work, Sir Humphrey. Civil servants still at home. Mandarins must set an example. Can't believe we're still calling senior civil servants mandarins in the year of our Lord 2021. On page 3, Mads is all that. Who is this? Madison Pettis, apparently. She is star of the Netflix movie He's All That, and pictured in her underwear for no good reason other than that the Sun still does page 3, so it's page 3 that isn't page 3 but is page 3. Also on that page, Ready Steady Chop, BBC Axe Ryland cooking show. Apparently they've cancelled his Ready Steady Cook reboot. Stop rebooting things. We should name senior civil servants after different types of oranges. Yes, I'm into that. Hey, can you thank 92? Thank you for subscribing. Big subscribing day today. Apparently we're close to a hype train, it says here. I don't, it's meaningless to me. Moving on. Matt Hancock was heckled and booed by MPs yesterday, which is hilarious. On pages 4 and 5, the day Boris went back on his manifesto pledge, and the headline, "Tax a Chance on Me." It really not even close to the ABBA lyric that it's trying to riff on there. On pages 6 and 7, PM warned NHS could swallow tax cash rise. It will. Handle with care is the headline there. Michael Gove suggests that the levy is a fair fix for care in the NHS. Bullshit. Use of weapons says Geronimo didn't have TB. It was an inside job. On page 9, been a bit of a revolution. Been a bit of a revolution. Strictly Craig lops 525. That's a re-evaluation, but no, it doesn't make sense. Anyway, Craig Revel Horwood has taken £525,000 off the price of his home. Tangoing cheap is the headline. The pun just doesn't work. On page 10, in the leader columns from The Sun, PM has bet the House on health, hasn't he? He'll be fine. They will forget all about this by the time at the election when they wish to just get behind the Tories again. Absolute horseshit. Hang on. Oh, there we go. What's my hair? My hair is annoying me. Right, anyway, there we go. Boris's tax rise would be painfully hard to swallow, says Trevor Kavanagh. Fuck off, Trevor Kavanagh. Won't affect you at all. Jimmy Carr's a pa, no joke. Heard the one about the TV comic who's a secret dad. He's revealed for the first time that he has become a father. What's his secret dad? Why is it secret? Just because he didn't tell the tabloids? Fuck off. On pages 12 and 13, pussy cat fight, meow, vicious rows could spell end of reunion. This is apparently because Nicole Scherzinger has demanded 75% of the takings, apparently. Yeah. Thank you, Kin United 2. Yeah, I do like this shirt. On page 15, Jane Moore is awful. On page 16, vape sig label calls for tobacco style health warning on vape packs. I mean, yes, is a good idea. On page 17 is refugee crisis. The crisis is manufactured. There is no crisis. There is only a desire to stop people coming into the country who desperately need our help. There is no crisis. Anyway, headline, we're up Ship Creek. French stop shop selling migrant boats, so smugglers just order on Amazon. On pages 18 and 19, Craig's prawn to do it. Apparently Craig David took Jesse Wallace, EastEnders' sister, EastEnders star Jesse Wallace's sister, Danielle Mason, on a date to a Chinese takeaway. Whatever. Hello, Pablo Bonzo. How are you doing? Hey, Neon Lady, how are you? On page 21, eggs and bacon. Frey Bentos are making a breakfast pie. Literally, that's it. That's a press release. And what have they put? Avocado fans look away. I both like avocados and Frey Bentos pies. It's possible. Get yourself a man who can do both. So sponsor me, Frey Bentos. I'd love that. Page 22. Katie Price's fiance, Carl Woods, has denied hitting her after the TV personality was allegedly assaulted at her home. Police were called to a 43-year-old model's property and they claimed she was attacked and her £50,000 engagement ring taken. An unidentified man in his 30s has been bailed after being arrested on suspicion of assault, theft, and coercive and controlling behaviour. But speaking out for the first time about the allegations, former Love Island star Carl, 32, said, "I have remained quiet until now due to the investigation being carried out by the police. However, I found it so difficult to keep quiet on social media due to speculation and shocking abuse that has been received. Anyone who thinks I hit Katie, you're completely delusional. I have no idea of the reality of the situation." Right, but is he saying he's not the man who was bailed? Because it doesn't say that. Katie Price is married to Peter Andre. She is not still married to Peter Andre. Page 20, more propaganda for Ronaldo with a picture of him chatting to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. No mention of, the rape allegations. On page 23, tragic Omar to win Emmy. His name was Michael K. Williams. Fuck you, The Sun. He wasn't just that one character. M&S have got new sexy underwear out. And most women I know say that M&S has lost the plot when it comes to fashion. I couldn't give a shit about M&S. On page 27, Antler and Decked, a stag took exception to a sign urging tourists not to feed him and knocked it down. We are pro this stag. We are a pro this stag stream. A love rat. What are we, back in the 70s? A love rat who choked a woman to death during rough sex will be freed from jail in just over 2 years. A change in law for tougher sentences came just 2 months after married Sam Pybus, 32, killed his secret lover, Sophie Moss, 33, too late to be used in his case. He went to her house after his wife went to bed. They had sex, during which Pybus strangled Sophie for several minutes until she was unresponsive. This guy. 1000% unrelated to anything you said, but why isn't The Sun available on Press Reader? Because it doesn't want it to eat into sales, effectively. You'll also find that The Sun is not included in most newspaper archives as well. Archives of the Times and The Sun aren't available in a lot of the library archives of newspapers, which is very annoying when I'm doing research sometimes. Pablo Bonzo says, waiting for the moment M&S start a range of S and M and S clothing. It'd get them publicity, put it that way. 9/11 Life Under Attack on ITV it was their review of the day. Celebrity MasterChef is back tonight at 9 p.m. with Sue Pollard, Bez, okay, that might be worth watching, Megan McKenna, Melanie Sykes, Dion Dublin, Joe Swash, Kadina Cox, and Kem Ketine. In the first semi-finals, It's a team relay round. Also on tonight, Grenfell, The Untold Story, Channel 4, 10 p.m. Animals with Cameras, BBC 2, 8 p.m. And Body in the Snow, The Murder of Joanna Yates on Channel 5, 9 p.m. If you want to watch something, a grotesquely exploitative piece of TV, something that Channel 5 specialises in. In Dear Deirdre today, my son won't play outside after a dad yelled at him. I worry cheating hubby will leave. He's back after we split but jealous. Row, then he flees to pub for days. And we want kids, but I struggle in bed. In Fab Daily, author Francine Rousseau, 74, is living proof that you can find the right person over and over again. I found love after loss twice. It's never too late, she writes. Well, that's kind of sweet. I wish she wasn't writing about it in The Sun. Okay. Time for one of those grotesque moments where the Sun writes a sex feature. Today's sex feature, the sex map of the world. Sex drought in Japan. Only 34% of people in Japan have sex weekly, making them the most sexually unsatisfied in the world, according to a Durex survey. France, the French prefer to have shorter sex sessions, according to a survey. A little more than half of men are able to prolong intercourse by holding back ejaculation, and just 6% will last as long as 13 minutes. Greece is apparently home to the friskiest people. In Greece, 87% of adults have sex at least once a week, according to the same Durex survey. That's more than in any other country. They were top in the survey that looked at the sexual habits 30,000 people from 26 nationalities. Norway allegedly have the most orgasms. UK, apparently, we are super into feet, with Manchester being the toe-sucking capital of Britain, followed by Leeds and Sheffield. Apparently world leaders in foreplay. I do not believe that. Belgium, apparently cowgirl is the top position in Belgium. Poland are big on spooning. Russian government has declared September 12th Conception Day, encouraging couples to stay at home and reproduce. Couples who have a child 9 months after the day will be rewarded with prizes. The US is a place to go if you want a threesome, apparently. New York has the biggest appetite for three-way sex, according to the dating app Threesomer. Because they would give you a truly independent and scientific read on threesomes, wouldn't they? 1 in 9 Americans has been in a polyamorous relationship. That's sexual relationships with more than one person with the consent of all those involved. Really not quite accurate definition from The Sun there. And 1 in 6 Americans would like to try a threesome, according to the academic journal Frontiers in Psychology. But 46% of American women prefer a good night's kip to sex, while 34% of men pleasure themselves to get to sleep. Survey by Sexual Performance Treatment, My Hicksel revealed. Again, a survey by a blue pill company is not a reliable source on this stuff. Yet, Kin United 2, absolutely fuck off with that definition. Extremely poor. No sexual preferences listed for the people of Newcastle. Do you wish to tell us anything? Pablo, Kin United 2 saying mostly Parmos. Apparently in New Zealand, women take the lead with an average of, and they on average have 20.4 sexual partners during their lifetime. The highest number for females in the world, according to condoms.uk. Again, this is, what the fuck? Austria, apparently Austrian men have the highest number of sexual partners globally, which is an average of 29.3. Men over-exaggerate the number of their sexual partners. There is plenty of academic research around that, whereas societally women are encouraged to underestimate their numbers, so somewhere in the middle. Thailand apparently has more cheaters. Durex says, having a mistress has been part of Thai culture for centuries, says The Sun in an entirely reductive manner. And there's a modern trend where men and women have extra friends to meet, not always for sex. What the fuck is condoms.co.uk? It sounds like a website someone made up. It's not even condoms.co.uk, it's condoms.uk. Highest number of females sounds very incel, it does. But then men who say that, you know, when they go talk about females, always a red flag. Kenya apparently has the most faithful people, according to the State of the World's Fathers report. Who fucking commissioned that? Italy, more than 80% of Italians enjoy oral sex, according to a 2019 survey. A quarter of Italy's couples watch porn together, and 24% use objects or food for arousal. Almost half of couples there have sex 2 or 3 times a week. Good on them. Apparently, India hates condoms. The same Durex survey found 95% of Indians do not use condoms, leading to a Twitter chat under the hashtag hate condoms, asking why. Respondents suggested it reduced intimacy and there was a lack of feeling. Absolute bullshit excuses from men. Absolute bullshit excuses from men. Up there with that one of men who go, I'm simply too large to wear condoms. Fuck off, mate. Use of weapons doing an Italian voice. I am not going to read that out because that will be clipped. That will be clipped, so I'm not doing that. China apparently has the fewest orgasms. Chinese are missing out after being found to have the fewest orgasms in the world, okay, according to the same Durex survey, which found 76% of people there unable to reach climax every time they have sex. I mean, I don't fucking believe it. Brazil apparently has the most stamina. They last on average 30 minutes in the sack. In the sack. Such a son-type way of talking about it. But 44% of Brazilian women admit faking orgasms, according to the Penguin Atlas of Human Sexual Behavior. What a book. I am not gonna read that because if I read that, you, in particular, Red Tick Seed, will clip it. And that's not out of context. I mean, there's many lines in this show that could be taken out of context. Germany apparently has the most number of nudists. A third of people love to go nude on the beach, and the nation has more swinging clubs than any other country in Europe. Armpit odor also turns on 23% of Germans, according to the Penguin Atlas of Human Sexual Behavior. Need to get that book, need to review it on stream. Right, moving on. Right, onto the letters. Today's £50 letter comes from David Winthrop, who turns up quite a lot in the Sun's letters page. And he writes, Boris Johnson has broken his manifesto promise by raising national insurance by 1.25% to fund social care. When furloughed, I tightened my belt to make sure my mortgage, council tax and other bills got paid. But since returning to work, I've been hit by increased fuel prices and shopping bills, energy hikes and now national insurance contributions. Rest assured, I will not be voting Conservative come the next election. Bet you David Winthrop votes Conservative at the next election. How much shall I read that one, King U92? I will not. I refuse, but it is funny. Yeah, I don't believe David Winthrop. Today, if you don't want to ever have sex, buy these trousers advertised in the Sun today. £23 a pair, available in biscuit with a slant pocket, grey with a frog mouth pocket, belt is not included, also available in the colours Navy, Air Force, Bark, Silver, Black and Olive. So there you go. Those trousers either get you no sex or the freakiest sex of your life. I'm just not willing to take the risk. And on the back page, stars don't care if I'm the boss. Gareth, my contract, no concern to them. Gareth Cowsgate says, England players do not care who is in charge of the team. So there you go. Biscuit colour trousers. Biscuit, says the neon lady. Yeah, I know. Right, that's the Sun. It's a minus quadruple negative nice. Minus 69, 69, 69. But no 69s in whatever nation they said doesn't shag. I don't care. Sun sex articles are some of the, most, libido-destroying articles you could possibly read. Chronothum says, the irony of all this repulsive clothing is that the asexual people I know are very good dressers. Yeah, no, I'm not. It wasn't a dig on the asexual. It was merely just a sense that if you are trying to get people to have sex with you, you should probably not wear those trousers. Red Tick Seed says, minus 70. I refuse to associate 69 with the Sun now. Slinkermeyer in with minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Minus septuple negative nice. Especially unintelligible today. And talking about unintelligible, we're about to do the Daily Star. But first, let's do a quick roll call. The Daily Star, I'm going to do a speed run today. I think I can do the Daily Star in 1 minute 30, which will be a new PB, not just for the Star, but for any paper on the stream. So, I am the Broken Bottle Boy. You can follow me on Twitter at Broken Bottle Boy. Also on TikTok, where I'm going to start doing TikToks. Useless conquests on there. In the chat today, Billy Wilder, hey, how you doing? Dr. Fayad, Fry Bentos, always good to see you. GABC, Hosso0312, I'm told that Judge Judy Slayer is actually a horrible raiding bot thing, so boo, go away. Kinyu92 is here. Chronotherm is here. Lilith Misgiria, good to see you. Mogshed, Amiga Jeppe, hey, haven't seen you in a while. Pablo Bonzo, Parps, Red Tixid, the excellent Red Tixid. Slinker Maya, the Neon Lady, the Royal Flush, and Use of Weapons. Thank you all for turning out on this Wednesday, for this Wednesday show. Is the star the one with page 3 still? Yes, it is, and we will gloss past that quite quickly, but yes, it still sticks with page 3. What really gets me about the star is people talk about it as if, because it has funny front pages, people ignore how absolutely madly reactionary it is. Often makes the Sun look sane. Right, so let's go. Let me hang on. I think this is insane of me to say I can do this in 1 minute 30. But nonetheless, let's give it a go. 1 minute 30... starting now. Front page of the Star. Right, now we've run out of wind. Bullshit. Capital S's are racist. Bullshit. Spare me the doom and gloom. Bullshit from Dawn Needham. They've got puzzles pull out. One of the big things that makes people buy the Star, I think. Main story is about, of course, the national insurance thing. On page 3, Ellie, lovely Ellie, tells us she loves life and the ocean waves. She's 24 and she's from Hertfordshire. Her boobs are covered by a shirt that has been made wet, so, she might as well not be wearing it. On pages 4 and 5, a thing about the economy, and then some women in bikinis. On page 7, uppercase, lowercase, basket place. Dr. Linda Menigans says she's joining the lowercase movement, which rejects capitals as systems, as symbols of hierarchy. I mean, shut up. On page 9, some good pictures of some lions, which is cool. 38 seconds left. Insane. 11. Was the Wire star murdered? May I go solo? I have not had a kip in 40 years, says a woman. Dawn Neeson is awful, and there's a picture of a woman with boobs. A cat. Various cats made to look at superheroes. The puzzle thing. Megan issues I'm a Celeb. Critical. In Starfit, they're trying to get people to run. A big advert for a abuse memoir book. And in the sport, Emma Raducanu and Gareth Southgate and more propaganda for Ronaldo. 4 seconds to go. That's the start. Really, you've not missed much. The Lions is a good picture. They mock Matt Hancock, and the site of I'm a Celebrity has apparently been hit by yobs. Red Tick Seed, hot off the presses. Initial post mortem claims Geronimo the alpaca did not have tuberculosis. This just runs and run. Love it. Boobs, a picture of a cat. Superheroes. I'm disassociating. Yeah, pretty much. The mods are blocking my post. I think it was due to the use of Insight. I've just allowed it. Hello from the Business Factory, SK. Always good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. So anyway, that was the Daily Star. Look, the Daily Star is absolute shit. It's absolute shit. One of the reasons I got the Star today is because I couldn't get the Mirror, because I was trying to scan the Mirror in the shop and it wouldn't scan. So there you go. Blame W.H. Smith for that. I wasn't in my small paper shop today because I went for a walk. Right, so here we go. We're moving on to the Times. Front page of the Times. Work that look. What to wear back in the office. Apparently cleavages are back. I didn't think that they'd gone, but according to the Times, which, having read their opinion pages over the years, I know is an expert in tits, claims that cleavage is back for parties. So that was grotesque. I shouldn't have done that. The main story is tax burden will rise to highest in 70 years. Quentin Letts is on the right-hand side being fucking awful. And a load of other stuff on the bottom way. How's the carpet in WH Smiths? The carpet in the Norwich WH Smiths is not bad. It's well maintained. On pages... page 3 in the Times. Must be desperate. On page 4 and 5, 3/4 of Jab minister staff allowed to work from home. On page 5, tycoon couples big plans for tiny village. Martin Bellamy, chairman of the Salamanca Group, and his wife Dariana Coden Bellamy, the daughter of one of Russia's richest men, have set tongues wagging after telling the residents of Coates near Cirencester that they want to build 24 houses on green land on the edge of the village. Glossy brochure outlining their proposal landed on the doormats last month. Now Anglican villagers are set to meet Bellamy face to face in the village hall this Sunday. Face off. Usain Bolt said there are not enough personalities in athletics. Live and let him be by. How Bond hint survived the cut. He may be the world's most famous womanizer, but the suggestion that James Bond might have slept with men was a step too far for studio executives. Barbara Broccoli, the producer who sees the James Bond franchise, said she had to fight to keep a scene in the 2012 movie Skyfall in which 007 hints at a more fluid sexual identity. The scene involves Daniel Craig's Bond being held captive by the film's villain, Raoul Silva, played by Javier Bardem. With Bond tied to a chair, Silva caresses the secret agent's neck and chest before moving down to his legs, stroking the inside of his thighs. This is an absolutely painful scene. You're trying to remember your training now. What's the regulation to cover this? Well, first time for everything, I guess, Silva says as he moves his hands up Bond's legs. Bond replies, what makes you think this is my first time? Leaving the villain looking a little shocked. Ooh, Mr. Bond, he says. The scene was widely praised for shaking up perceived ideas about Bond, but Broccoli said it was nearly cut. I mean, fuck. 007 loves Eastern European twinks, says Use of Weapons. I mean, this is like this shit where they say in a Disney movie, oh, this character's gay, and then you watch the film and there's no direct reference to it. Fucking... It's hardly, you know... Kin92 says, I've been rewatching all the Bond films along with Kill James Bond episodes. Thoroughly recommend that podcast. And it's full of probably unintentionally homoeroticism. Yeah, loads. Like, yeah, absolutely loads. Blue ski suit included. On page 7, Britain's are shamefully in the dark about Peru. Britain should be ashamed that its knowledge of Peru is limited to Paddington, the British Museum has said, while admitting it will probably still sell cuddly versions of the bear during its exhibition about the country. Well, they used Paddington on their Twitter yesterday. Also, yeah, the Times had to go with a Darkest Peru reference in that headline, didn't they? Dinner at Gormley's, expect a lump of clay instead of an aperitif. Anyone lucky to be invited to dinner at the home of Sir Anthony Gormley should not expect an aperitif. The sculptor responsible for the Angel of the North and the cast iron figures on Crosby Beach is more likely to press a lump of clay into the hands of visitors than gin and tonic. This keeps the brain competitiveness of dinner party guests to a minimum, as well as creating a soothing atmosphere, he told the Times Education Commission. Oh, fuck off. Bond was apparently based on Christopher Lee, and he's queer-coded as fuck, so yeah. Use of Weapons, see J.K. Rowling making all the background characters gay, Jewish, black, Indian, etc. Yeah, Chronotherm, I've seen some fan-made films which definitely show characters being gay, bi, pan, poly, all sorts of things. Yeah, this is the thing, but in actual films, it's like Jungle Cruise, the new... the recently released Disney film. They were like, oh yeah, well, Jack Whitehall's character's gay in it. It's not even particularly... His character's not particularly queer-coded in it. There's a bit of a reference to, him not getting married or whatever. But it's this, like, nothing. It's like we keep getting told that there's going to be gay characters in Star Wars. And then it's just all kind of filled in by fan conventions. Kin92 says, gotta have J.K. Rowling naming conventions too, like a Scottish guy named Duncan Tartan Haggis McAllister MacLeod. Right, on pages 8 and 9, we've got more coverage of the NI thing, on more coverage of that on 10 and 11, more coverage of that on 12 and 13, with continuing the threat of the Covenant reshuffle. We'll see if he gets round to that. An aristocrat was convicted yesterday of an anti-Semitic attack. He's also closely associated with a conspiracy theorist who believes the world is controlled by alien serpents. Fun times. Red Tick Siege, you're right, it's often one-shot stuff that can be cut in certain foreign markets. China. On page 17, Dame Mary Beard, in a piece for Tatler about the fashion for buying images of the 12 Caesars, writes that customers seek full sets from Julius to Domitian, largely for the convenience of picking up a dozen pieces in one lot. The trouble is that most Caesars were utter rogues, and displaying them may suggest a common love of drunken debauchery and various words ending in side. Caveat Emperor, as they say. Oh, fuck off. Beard notes with rare approval that Boris Johnson prefers instead to have a bust of Pericles in his office. This may not be mere virtue. The Prime Minister got a discount from the British Museum shop because the bust was marked. On page 21, 3 killed by lorry as they pushed faulty car off the road, horrendous. A house where Charles de Gaulle lived during the Second World War is up for sale for £15 million. That's Frognall House in Hampstead. It's home to the Gaulle family from 1942. Three-storey building, which has been used as a convent, is on the market for the first time in 50 years. It's quite a nice house. It's not £15 million worth of house, but no house is. Robotic dog helps elderly walk away from loneliness. Bullshit. No knick-knack Chinese relic sells for a fair whack. A porcelain bowl that a couple kept on their sideboard for years has sold for £400,000 after it turned out to be a 900-year-old Chinese relic. The unmarked 5-inch tall sensor bowl was kept by its owners on a dining table next to other bits and bobs. After they died, relatives invited auctioneers to their detached home in a village in Lincolnshire to value an eclectic mix of antiques. It was initially given the value of £500 to £800, but then they discovered it was worth tons. Boris, nobody cares that you know Latin, says Neon Lady. Agreed. Johnson's easily as deranged as many emperors. Absolutely agree. On page 25, bullying bishop made up claims about organists threatening her. Oh, there's a film in that. Apparently, BA harassed a traumatised veteran. British Airways harassed a former RAF serviceman when post-traumatic stress disorder when it disciplined him for missing work after he rushed his daughter to hospital. An employment tribunal criticised airline bosses for showing a lack of empathy. Fuck BA. In the comment pages, Daniel Finkelstein says, Johnson's dilemma, how to act without acting. Muddling through has served the PM well. Bullshit, it hasn't served the PM well. 150,000 people dead. Fuck off. But his social care plan will bring conflict with voters who distrust upheaval. I cannot. I simply cannot. Roger Boyes, the most unfortunately named columnist in the Times, says, charisma doesn't cut it for today's leaders. What leaders have charisma? We're told they have charisma. Who's got fucking charisma? Also, Blair and Clinton's charisma was fucking sliminess. Matthew Paris, who a few weeks back, on May 15th, a few months back, on May 15th, wrote a column called It's Time to Stop Pandering to Travellers, has apparently gone and met Gypsy Romany and Traveller people in Brighton with his friend Rob Rinder, and he won't say what he talks to them about, but he's saying, I'm glad I went and listened to their concerns. Fuck off. It's just... an apology was needed. Not this kind of, we went and we talked and we still disagree. What did he say? He said, I have had my answers, of course, my ripostes and rejoinders, and you may too, but I bit my lip, always remembering the challenge anyone faces and speaking up for a very, very mixed assortment of people. Some easier to defend than others. Some easier to defend than others. Fuck you. Right, moving on. Alice Thompson says, Britain needs babies more than frozen eggs, making Britain sound like a beast that swallows babies, I guess, in a way. King United 2, we talked, and they rightly kicked the fuck out of me is the only way that ends well. Yeah. In the birthdays, Michael Frayn, the novelist and playwright, is 88. Linda Bennett, the founder of LK Bennett, is 59. Ruby Bridges, the civil rights activist, first African-American child to attend an all-white public elementary school in the American South, is 67. A very special birthday to her. Joss Butler, the cricketer, Lancashire County Cricket Club, and England vice-captain of the England team that won the Cricket World Cup in 2019, is 31. Tim Cox, Lord Lieutenant of Warwickshire, is 66. Anne Diamond, TV presenter, is 67. Martin Freeman, the actor, is 50. Mindy Grossman, President and Chief Executive of Weight Watchers, WW International, formerly known as Weight Watchers, is 64. Paul Hannigan, flat racing jockey, is 41. Judith Hahn, the broadcaster, is 79. Dame Margaret Hodge, Labour MP for Barking and former minister, not happy birthday to her, she's 77. Miles Jupp, comedian, actor and host of The News Quiz, is 42. James Mattis, US Secretary of Defense until 2019, former US Marine Corps General, is 71. John McDonnell, happy birthday to Big Mac. Labour MP for Hayes and Harlington, Shadow Chancellor of the Exchequer till 2020, is 70. Jeff Miller, the cricketer for England until 1984 and chairman of the England Cricket Selectors until 2013, is Nice, 69. Louise Minchin, the TV news presenter, presenter of BBC Breakfast until 2021, is 53. Vice Admiral Sir Roy Newman, the vice patron of the Royal Naval Association, Flag Officer Plymouth, and Commander Central Sub-Area Eastern Atlantic until 1996, is 85. Pink is 42. Bernie Sanders, US Senator and longest serving independent in US congressional history. Happy birthday to him. He is 80. And Andrew Scottigood, Chief Executive of the Royal Parks Charity, is 46. And finally, Victor Ubogu, the rugby player, Bath and England, is 57. He played until 1999. On this day, in 1504, Michelangelo's statue of David was unveiled in Florence. In 1976, Mao Zedong, leader of the Chinese Communist Revolution, died aged 82, having ruled since 1949. And the last word goes to Walter de la Mare, poet, novelist, and short story writer from Farewell, 1918. Look thy last on all things lovely every hour, he said. They pull from the archives today a piece about Sinn Féin from 1922, where the Times wrote, dangerous Sinn Féin manoeuvres. They'd probably write that still today. A lot of mouths in the chat. Happy birthday to Bernie. On page 12 and 13, Taliban hardliners reclaim top government jobs. This implies that there are non-hardline members of the Taliban, which is, really a false dichotomy. Plover lovers take fight to dog owners in New York. When a crime wave made New Yorkers feel unsafe on the subway, a volunteer group called the Guardian Angels sprang up to patrol platforms. Now another band of righteous citizens has formed to defend piping plovers, tiny birds that nest on city beaches just as thousands of New Yorkers and their dogs flock to the shore. Wearing light blue t-shirts with a logo featuring the bird, the plover patrols fanned out across the beaches on the southern shore of the city this summer to confront anyone straying onto protected areas. Okay, whatever. In France, the trial of the Bataclan attackers has begun. The headline, Traumatized Nation Prepares to Relive Bataclan Nightmare. I was in Paris reporting on those attacks the day after. It was, horrendous. There will be many witnesses and evidence given to this. It's going to be a huge trial. Judges are scheduled to deliver their verdicts on May 24th and 25th next year. On page 35, helicopter and submarine trips banned to protect Arctic wildlife. Good. On the front page of Times 2, are you back at the office? Where to buy your new work wardrobe? Of course, it looks like that. Whatever. I can't be bothered with going through this today. It's all the usual crap. National insurance rise added to COVID burden the business community, or people of business as they prefer to be called. Tax on jobs comes at the worst time, they say. A woman whose testimony led to the jailing of Bill Cosby has criticised the US justice system for freeing a sexually violent predator. Yes, that's what it did. And she publicised a memoir vowing that the actor's release would not defeat her. Andrea Costin, 48, whose allegations of sexual assault led to Cosby's conviction in 2018, added it was disappointing to see Felicia Rashad, his co-star, celebrating his release. Constant, a Canadian former basketball coach who became a massage therapist, has said little in public beyond her court evidence that she was drugged and attacked by Cosby at his Philadelphia mansion in 2004. Cosby, 84, was released in June by appeal judges who said he had been denied fundamental fairness. Bullshit. Because he had a deal with a previous prosecutor that prevented him from being charged with criminal offences. Double bullshit. More than 60 women allege assault by Cosby, but he was tried only for attacking Costin because the statute of limitations had expired elsewhere. He's a sexually violent predator who's basically was let out of jail, Constant told NBC as she launched her book The Moment. Constant settled a lawsuit against him for $3.4 million in 2006, but she was freed from a non-disclosure deal when details of the case were revealed in Cosby's retrial. She found it disgusting to see him celebrate his release and describe US justice as flawed. Doesn't surprise me given the level of arrogance and having no remorse, she said. That poor woman. Statute of limitations of sexual assault makes me beyond furious. This link of mine, me too. It's disgusting. Pablo Monzo recommends the Chasing Cosby book and podcast. Yes, I would agree on that. On page 43, Chinese debts unravel historic fashion stores. Troubles in China, putting some of the oldest names in British fashion in a precarious position, with Aquis Coutum quietly pulling out of the UK entirely, and Jeeves and Hawkes battling a winding up order. The trenchcoat maker and the tailor are owned by Shandong Ruyi, which had come under increased pressure after it bloated $4 billion debts after an acquisition spree intended to turn it into China's answer to LVMH, the French luxury goods conglomerate. The business defaulted on its bonds last year, while its Trinity Group entity, which has about 200 shops in Britain under its Jeeves and Hawkes, Kent and Kerwin and Cerruti brands, suspended trading in shares and is facing a winding up order from Standard Chartered, the bank. There's an extremely cursed picture of Margaret Thatcher in Russia wearing an aquascutum coat. Right. In the obituaries today, Alberto Villa, the disgraced philanthropist who made and lost a fortune in the dot-com era and whose name was stripped from the Royal Opera House. He died of undisclosed causes. Honk if Thatcher's dead. Yes, honk in the chat for that. Donald Zeck, droll and acerbic Fleet Street showbiz correspondent who enjoyed extraordinary access to the stars in 50s and 60s. His obit was in there yesterday. And disgustingly, Michael K. Williams gets the smallest obit today, and they give him the line, actor best known as Omar Little in the hit crime series The Wire. He was in many other excellent things. Good to see all the honks in the chat. And then in the sport, Stokes likely to miss T20 World Cup. Clubs fury at Wenger plan and bid to launch IPL of rugby. Right, that is the Times. I'm just putting that back there because I'm going to be using that obit for something. Right, finally we come to the Daily Mail, which I'm going to rocket through here. Michael K. Williams is a great actor, and of course, Times hates him. I don't think they hate him, but they certainly gave him not enough credit there. Yes, absolutely RIP to Michael K. Williams. Truly sad. And also, there's some grotesque shit in the papers about him today. In fact, I think there's some in the Mail, so fair warning on that. Daily Mail. PM's care tax bombshell. The good news, the bad news. Now make the care worth the cost, Boris. He won't. On page 3, more stuff about the weather, and of course they do it in Fahrenheit because they're trying to force us back to imperial measurements. 87 degrees Fahrenheit. On page 5, millions will go to NHS first. The whole nation owes campaigning Daily Mail and its readers a huge debt, writes Boris Johnson, sticking his head so far up the Mail's arse. On pages 6 and 7, only Boris could dive headfirst into a tax-rising bog and clamber out smelling of roses, writes Henry Deed. Deed sticking his head so far up Boris's arse. On pages 8 and 9, the Daily Mail writes about how that it campaigned to end the crisis. Fuck you. On pages 10 and 11, after hot air, cruelty and neglect at last, my plan is in action, says Andrew Dilnot, but Camilla Cavendish, a former government advisor on social care, says, I'd rather my aunt, not the young or the poor, paid for her care. On pages 12 and 13, NHS, we need more. They do, because the system's fucked. On pages 14 and 15, show of the new Strictly Pros. £100,000 fine for police over death of mother left injured in crashed car for 3 days. People should be in jail for that. Emma Raducanu is in the latest edition of Vogue, so we've got a picture of her from that. Sarah Vine attacks Hilary Mantel. Can they both lose? Oh God, just a load of shit. Just a load of fuck Sarah Vine. On page 21, era of record house prices is here to stay. Oh, good. Brilliant. Fantastic. On page 23, Bridgerton filming has resumed after all the big stories about it stopped. It stopped for a day. A double page spread of tiny animals, little frogs and birds and stuff, which is nice. I just wish it wasn't in the Daily Mail. Right, on this day, September 8th, 2021, from the Daily Mail, September 8th, 1975, Czech tennis star Martina Navratilova has defected to the West, stating her fondness for the US had triggered the move. The fiery 18-year-old said in Manhattan yesterday, I've come to love the people and the country very dearly, before denying that the prospect of earning a small fortune had also been a factor. Sorry, I've got an itchy nose because of fucking hay fever. Also on this day, September 8th, 1997, Tony Blair yesterday offered the Queen his help in modernising the monarchy following the death of Diana, Princess of Wales. Shaken by the backlash against the royal family's faltering response to it, Her Majesty is thought ready to make more direct political advice than in the future. The whole everyone's annoyed with the Queen thing was about taking the anger towards the press and transferring it across to the Queen. That's all it was about. I mean, there was anger, but it was fueled up by the press for that reason. Okay, born on, happy birthday to Martin Freeman, 50. Linda Kristen Bennett, 59. Also born on this day, Patsy Cline, born 1932, died 1963. The US country singer has been called the quintessential torch singer. At 13, she had a rheumatic fever and said the fever affected my throat, and then I recovered. I had this booming voice. Her hits include Crazy and Walking After Midnight. Richard I was born on this day in 1157 and died in 1199. Son of Henry II and Eleanor of Aquitaine, known as Richard the Lionheart, spent just 6 months of his 10-year reign in England and may not have even spoken English. He definitely didn't. He shared a bed with King Philip II of France, but a historian said this was a symbol of unity and trust. An accepted political act, nothing sexual. Is that right? On September the 8th in 1888, the Football League held its first season. The original 12 members were Accrington, Aston Villa, Blackburn Rovers, Bolton, Burnley, Derby County, Everton, Notts County, Preston North End, Stoke, West Bromwich Albion and Wolverhampton Wanderers. In 1966, the Queen officially opened the Severn Suspension Bridge connecting Gloucestershire in England with South East Wales. Quote of the day, being an intellectual creates a lot of questions and no answers. That was Janis Joplin. And joke of the day. What do you call a sheep dipped in chocolate? A candy bar. No. Page 27, they've got a story about the Cotswolds housing thing. On pages 28 and 29, where the knives are out for the samurai mafia. They sever their own fingers, savage their victims, and make billions in illicit business. But as one of those Japanese crime bosses is sentenced to death, their influence is finally being cut down to size. Just weird othering shit about the Yakuza. On page 31, BBC News boss quits her no-win £340,000 job. And they make it about Jess Brammer again. They've got a picture of Colin Pitchfork now released. Child killer who's been released, of course. They're going to make a big case about that. Red Tixie, historians got a case of the not gays. Yeah. Let people have their fanfic fodder, says the neon lady. Use of weapons. Further alpaca news. Chief veterinary officer's initial postmortem showed TB-like lesions. They're covering. I'm pretty sure. Often you have this case where they don't. Anyway, I'm not even getting into the fucking thing. Pablo Bonzo. I almost admire Ike's anti-lockdown tactic. He tells people the virus is fake and not to wear masks. Then he tells those same people that lockdowns are going to keep happening. Manifest destiny. Manifest destiny. Self-fulfilling prophecy, I think you mean. Gay wasn't invented until the 1980s, you see. Yeah, that's before that, people were just confused. Money mail, you can get your cash back from a bank scam. I think if you don't know that by now, you're probably going to keep getting scammed. In the TV reviews, Animals with Cameras is their recommended pick of the day, 8 p.m. BBC 2. Reviews from last night, A House Through Time gets 5 stars, Wanderers of Scotland only 2 stars. In the cartoons today, the dog runs past Garfield. Garfield concludes it must be feeding time. Chloe and co. Chloe is drinking and talking to her friend about men. And in Fred Bassett is in the car waiting, but there's a traffic light, so he's having to wait longer to go and get his food. Cinco, one of my favorite memes is Sappho and her friends. Yeah, I like the Sappho and her friends subreddit as well for stuff like that. Hey, Ash Flaps McNulty. Yeah, just good pals. They were just gal pals, you know. Today's poem is really fucking awful, so here we go. Top dog. My home is number 10 and I'm top dog of Downing Street. I often feature in the press, which makes my fame complete. But now there's doubt I might not be newsworthy anymore because a flipping pop has moved into the house next door. Apparently it has the name of Nova, which sounds odd. Can only hope that it won't be a pesky little S*D sod. However, we have now met up out in the garden here. I took a sniff or two, then knew there's nothing much to fear. In fact, we could become good mates. The future's looking bright, though possibly in time to come, the snag could be our height. Because in roughly 1 year's time, I'll be smaller. I'll be the smaller one, but rest assured I'll still be boss, remaining as Top Gun. Oh, Sheila Chisnell of Brixham, Devon. Stop it. Today's limerick, probably not a limerick, be aware, is from I.G. Fenner, often writes into the letters pages of the Mail. Abarabak mamma mia. I think it's a brilliant idea. I'll be dancing around to the legendary sound while I wait for my goods in IKEA. Okay, so it is a limerick. It's a shit limerick. Right, straight to the point letters. Cheryl Felix writes, why is it unfair on young people to raise national insurance to pay for elderly care? It's their inheritance and we're protecting. And one day they'll be old too. Well, you fucking know why. R. Bradshaw of Cowbridge, Vale of Glamorgan, I'm not going to do a Welsh accent, says, it would be more impressive if the haberdashers' our schools renounced the money rather than their founder's name. Oh, fuck off. B. Quelch. Come on, that can't be a real name. B. Quelch. B. Quelch says, more jail time is being proposed if you steal a dog than if you beat up someone in a drunken rage on the street. Diane Silver says, the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester are offering a cheapskate salary for a chef. Let them eat cake. Philip Clark says, I don't mind paying for the TV licence. There are no adverts on the BBC and it works out at less than £14 a month, which isn't bad compared to what the streaming sites charge. Sensible letter there, they have to let a few in. Pat Belfield says, if Hilary Mantel is so against the monarchy, why not return her damehood? Lindy Leventon says, my great niece was Queen of the Road, aged 23, as an HGV driver in Norway. It must have been a shock when she clambered out of the cab with painted fingernails. Only to weird sexists. And Janet Marshall says, when it comes to his cabinet, someone should explain to Boris Johnson the difference between loyalty and stupidity. Today's recipe is lemon orzo chicken. I mean, it looks fine. It looks fine. Can we talk about the game of Connect 4 and the Tory photo op? Yeah, completely. It's ridiculous. It's like completely ridiculous. Imagine that, a woman doing a job. Can you imagine? Neon Lady, thank God these people who write letters to the Daily Mail don't know how to use Twitter. Boomer reply guys would be too cursed. Use your weapons. I categorically will not be old because I will not have a pension, so I'll just talk myself. Okay. It's a strategy. I just intend to work until I die and they throw me in a ditch. Trying to sell your mattresses, trying to sell your hedge trimmers. Coin! Coin, coins, coins, alert, 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 coin, coin, coin. Own the brand new 2021 UK Gold Sovereign for just £319. Person in the room is away at her friend's 50th. I could get the coin. I'm not going to spend £319 on a coin. I'm being ridiculous. But I could get a 7 chakras of happiness bracelet, the vital spiritual energy of karma of the 7 gemstones of destiny. It's a fucking infinity gauntlet for woo-woo people. Amethyst purifies your soul, apparently. Jasper restores your sense of financial security. A good way of restoring your financial security is not spend 40 quid on a bracelet like this. Carnelian enhances your sense of pleasure. Turquoise improves your ability to concentrate. Lapis lazuli boosts your self-esteem. Adventurine encourages love and respect. Your loved ones won't respect you if you buy this bracelet. And Tiger's Eye raises your ambition and determination. I am determined not to buy this. 13 yellow tokens, 10 red. Proper cheating, exactly. Use of weapons says coins, 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 coins. Red tick seed says coins, chakras. Anyway, I'm not getting the chakra bracelet. They're still trying to sell you disgusting meals. Get yourself a Thomas Kincaid Winter Splendor, always in bloom, tabletop tree. Yours for £160. £160. Neon Lady says, my local New Age shop is cheaper, better, and more ethically sourced chakra jewelry. Same here. Worst thing is she still thinks they're playing chess. That's a dark joke. Trying to persuade you to invest in whiskey. Invest in whiskey. That's, I'm not allowed to say it's a scam, but it's scam flavoured. And on the back page, Rugby Revolution, £250 million plan for a 12-a-side tournament rocks game. Harry won't be best striker on the pitch tonight, says Chris Sutton. And Stokes out of England squad for World Cup. That is the Daily Mail. Minus 69, minus 69, minus 69, all the minus 69s. Down with this sort of thing. Right, so give me your scores for the Daily Mail as I tell you the things that I always tell you in the encouragement. Thank you yesterday to someone who, the anonymous contributor who threw some money in the newspaper fund. Absolutely appreciated. Paper fund link is there, so do consider doing that. Thank you to people who have resubscribed. Thank you, Mark Kenosis, for resubscribing. Now on an 8-month streak. Thank you to Gethin Wyn Jones, who resubscribed a couple of days ago. Thank you to Friar Bentos, who subscribed to the channel via Prime, and thank you to Salika Meyer, who resubscribed for 7 months. And also thank you to King92, who subscribed at tier 1. The door is going, so I will just remind you to check out the newsletter. Do subscribe today. Subscribe for free or upgrade to paid if you want. And finally, if you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and all that lovely business. I will see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. for another episode. Thank you for your contributions today. And if you want to find me or get in touch with me, just hit me up on the Twitter or via the Discord. Hang on, where is the Discord link? I should just give you the Discord link. Do join the Discord link. Thank you to people who've been sharing articles and stuff that they like and hate in the Discord and various other cool things. Thank you, Sigmaya, and thank you, Pablo Bonzo and Use of Weapons. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.